Hi fixers, today we're going on these water inlet pipes. They're plastic, we're going to replace them. So first of all, I took my mount out of the way here. Got this bolt there, and a bracket that goes to this side here. Get those out of the way. Then you should be able to pull your wishbone out of the way. Once you get your wishbone out of the way, you got more access to get to the pump face bolts, which are 5/16. Get those bolts out of the way. So I'm working on getting these bolts out with my ratchet here. So once I get these loose, I can put tension on here. Sorry for this janky angle here, and we're gonna get the belt off. Whenever I have a belt off, I like spinning the pulleys just to make sure I don't have any roughness or anything like that. So we gotta get these bolts out of the alternator. There's a bolt in the front, and there's one on top, and there's like 3 or 4 bolts on top that you have to get. You want to get that out of the way, and then there's a couple bolts for this bracket that has the tensioner on it. Once the tensioner's off, then you can move that and you should be able to get access to your tubes. We're also going to do the water pump while we're in there. Right, so I'm going to take all these bolts out here. If I remember right, they're 15s, but don't hold me to it because I can't remember. But I think that there was like one size fits everything. So once we get this alternator out of the way, we'll have their access to our bracket bolts. So we can get our bracket out of the way to get our access to our plastic inlet pipes, which break. And the brand new ones that we have are aluminum. Now with my alternator flopped out of the way, as you can see I left everything connected, you can get a better access. There's this bolt here, and there's one below it, and I think there's one more over here on the other side that you have to get, and you should be able to pop this out, and it'll get floppy. So we'll see what we can do. So we should be able to get these 3 bolts out of the way, and we should be able to make this a little floppy and get our tubes out. So you kind of got to pry out and then pry back towards the passenger side in order to kind of pop this out, because the way they stick in is you got to put them in like the front and then the back. It's weird. You'll have to figure it out, but it's, you know, as you can see, it's coming out that way. Right, so now I got this out, we can look at our plastic tubes, which they get hot and they get fractured, cracked, and they rot, and they break. So that, like, this one is broken. So you gotta get like a pick in there, you gotta work a line into it in order to get it to pop out. Once you get a line work into it somehow, it should just come apart and pull out. The same goes for both sides. Now that I have access, I have to take my bolts out from my power steering pump. There's this one here and the one below it. I have to take these out in order to get to my 12 bolts for my water pump. Once I get the pump out of the way, then I can get my water pump bolts, and then we can get our one water pump changed. Now that I got everything, I want to make sure, I'm going to go to the bottom here and I'm going to make sure I have all the bolts out, which it kind of looks like I do. So I'm going to start loosening and we'll try to get it off. So these bolts here, you want to make sure that you clean them and you put some sort of RTV on them, because they are exposed to water, so you don't want them to leak. Now with the pump out of the way, we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean all our gasket material off, make sure it's nice and clean, and then we're going to put our new pump on there. So it's going to take a little bit of time to scrape all this stuff off, and then we'll put our new pump on. So this is my new pump, my new gasket, and I put RTV on both sides, and now I'm going to put RTV on this bolt, just any oil resistant RTV. Put on the bolt threads like that, so when it goes in, it's going to seal. So when you put aluminum in, you want to make sure that you do kind of like a star pattern back and forth. I've already kind of got the ones on the bottom tight on this picture. Well, once everything's tight, I'm going to go around it with a ratchet, make sure everything is tight with my standards, and then we'll start going the other way with everything. So now these are our aluminum water pipes that we need to put in. There is only one way they can go in. There's a one that is larger, and can't remember what exactly one. I think it goes into the housing, but you want to put RTV around on the gaskets to make sure that they seal wherever they ride at, just like I've done here, so that once it's in there, it's not going to leak. So there's a certain way you have to do it. It's like the front goes in first or the back. It's a lot of experimentation, but once you get it, it slides right in, and it's fairly simple. So I should be able to get my bolts started in. Just got to wiggle a little bit once you have your pipes in the right spot, and then tighten them up, and then we'll go back together just the way we took everything apart. Go back the same way we came in, and we should be done. Okay, so once everything's back in place, put our bracket where it needs to be, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our belt on there, tighten our pulley bolts, and put coolant in it, and then we're going to run it. So thanks for watching.
Fixer good.
Be a fixer. Be your own hero.